Money doesn't just live in our wallets, it lives in our heads. It follows us into the shower, into the office, into our silence, into our sleep. The fear of bills, EMI pressure, debt reminders, unexpected expenses. It becomes a shadow that never fully leaves. You may not hold money in your hand, but it still holds you. And this pressure, this invisible weight, that's something people don't talk about enough. It eats into our health, weakens our relationships, and slowly destroys our sense of safety. Financial anxiety is not just about numbers, it's about how those numbers make us feel. Let's start from the night, the place where thoughts get louder. You lie down in bed, but your mind stays standing. You replay expenses, calculate payments, imagine worst case scenarios. You check your bank app again, even though nothing has changed. Your heart beats slightly faster. Your breath becomes shallow. You try to sleep, but your brain refuses to power down. Because anxiety is an active engine and it burns fuel even when the body is still. That's why financial stress creates insomnia, not because you're awake, but because your mind is working overtime. And when sleep weakens, the whole system collapses. You wake up tired, unfocused, irritated. A simple task feels heavy. You snap faster, react harder, feel more overwhelmed. Even things you normally enjoy feel dull. This exhaustion builds on itself like interest on unpaid debt. You are mentally overdrafted. Now let's zoom out from the night to the body. Money stress triggers cortisol, the stress hormone designed for survival, not for months but for emergencies. The body starts living in alert mode, scanning for threats that aren't physical but financial. Overspending becomes danger, debt becomes danger, unexpected expense becomes tiger in the bush danger. Your heart doesn't know the difference. It only knows stress. Over time, this chronic stress weakens immunity, increases blood pressure, ruins focus, and shortens patience. Your body was not built to carry money fear every single day. But the most painful impact of financial anxiety is not health, it's relationships. When money becomes a constant threat, people stop hating each other, they hear stress. A small disagreement about spending turns into a fight about responsibility. A delayed payment becomes blame. A desire becomes selfishness. Two people who love each other become opponents instead of teammates. The relationship becomes a negotiation instead of partnership. The house stays the same, but the atmosphere changes. Financial anxiety can make you withdraw emotionally. You stop talking about your worries because you don't want to burden anyone. But silence builds distance. Or you do talk, but through frustration and fear, which creates conflict instead of connection. This is why money issues are one of the biggest reasons couples break. Not because they lack money, but because they lack emotional safety around money. Even friendships get affected. You avoid gatherings because spending feels heavy. You say no to plans not because you don't care, but because you are scared of another bill. People may think you are distant, but inside you are fighting an invisible battle. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Money anxiety doesn't come only from lack of money. It also comes from lack of clarity. A person with moderate income but clear budgeting, savings, and a plan can feel more secure than someone earning twice as much but living without structure. Anxiety grows in uncertainty, calm grows in awareness. So, how do we break this cycle? Not by magically having more money, of course, not by pretending stress doesn't exist, but by bringing financial life out of chaos and into understanding. The moment you know where your money goes, fear loses power. The moment you build an emergency cushion, the mind sleeps easier. The moment you set boundaries for spending, guilt disappears. The moment you and your partner talk about money with honesty instead of tension, connection returns. Financial peace is not about wealth, it's about control. Start by tracking what you spend, not to judge but to see clearly. Set aside a percentage for emergencies, even if small. Consistency beats amount. Talk openly with people you love because shared burden becomes lighter. And most importantly, remember that money does not define your worth. Your value is not tied to your salary, your savings, your bank balance, or your purchases. You are more than your income, you are more than your expenses. Money should support life, not shrink it. Financial anxiety is not weakness, it is your mind asking for stability, structure, and safety. And once you give it that, something beautiful happens. Sleep deepens, health improves, relationships soften, and stress loses its throne. Because peace is built not by earning more, but by fearing less.